Hello to everyone. I hope you're doing really well and having a great week so far. And it's just Monday, but still, we want to have a good start to the week. We've had some craziness around here, but it's all good. Everything's good. All good. So, I want to take just a few minutes and talk to you really quickly about changing our habits and doing things that are a little bit different. Last week, I posted a couple of videos. I posted actually 4 videos of the Ignite game plan book. Um, it was some videos on from Sarah Harnish on her Ignite book. Now, sometimes when we start, it hit me as I was after I had posted a couple of those. It hit me. Not always do we know exactly what to do, or do we have a habit of doing certain things. Sometimes we're in the habit of doing things that aren't productive or things that are not always the best thing for us to do. And so we don't ever succeed or reach our goal or do the thing that we're trying to do because we haven't created a new habit. And I have really been, this has been one of my very intentional things. My word for this year is intentional. And so I've been trying to be much more intentional about the things that I do every day. And I have totally missed the mark so many days. But then when it finally, I try to get lined back up and go, okay, we got to start over again. And one of the things that we have to realize is that when we don't meet the mark, sometimes it's so easy when we miss a mark to just not do it at all and just go, oh, well, I've already screwed up, so I'm just not going to do it again. We have to keep trying and we have to keep working at it. It's like the saying, if you fall off the horse, get back on. It's the same thing with everything that we do, anything that we do. If we want having a desire and a goal that we were trying to reach, we can't just stop. I mean, if we're trying to lose weight, we can't just stop. You can't just because you had one bad day doesn't mean you don't keep going and you keep trying. You have to keep trying. But sometimes that means changing habits. And so that's what I've really it really hit me hard. I've been watching some videos by Bob Proctor, and he is amazing. So I suggest you go find him. And he's got tons of just free videos on YouTube, but he's also got like paid programs and stuff like that. But he is amazing. But the other day I was listening to one of his videos, and he was talking about habits. And it hit me, I've posted some of these videos from Sarah Harnish, and I get so excited over thinking about sharing with people and helping people find their life that they're wanting better health and finding the wellness that they need and finding joy in life. And that's like one of my goals is to help people, especially if you're in a place of emotional turmoil or you've had just a lot of trauma in your life. Like, that is where my passion is to help people through those emotional things, because the oils really help in that area so very much, probably more so than most any other area. And it's amazing how God created these things for our bodies and to help help our bodies do what they're supposed to be doing. And so as I was thinking about that, I want to throw these things out there because I want to help you to help share with other people, because it's so important, because we've got something that is so amazing for so many people. But then it hit me, sometimes we have good intentions and we have the idea that we want to go and help other people and we want to do these things, or we want to post something on Facebook, or we want to share with somebody, but we don't always do it because sometimes we get into the habit of doing these other things, and we have these paradigms which are just habits and ideas that was given to us by our parents. So, like, one example he used in one of his videos was putting on your underwear, which I thought was just hilarious. But he was talking about, you put your underwear on a certain way, like every time you always use the same foot. I've never really even thought about it that much, but it's true. You use one foot because if you tried to use the other foot, usually it would throw you off balance because you're just not used to that. It's not the habits you're into. And at some point, your parents said, put this foot in here, put that foot in there. And like, they got you into that habit of using that foot. So to go into the underwear first. So we do that with everything. We get into the habit of something most of the time based off of something we've just done so much. We've just gotten used to it. and based off of what other people have told us. So we believe certain things because somebody told us, or we cook stuff a certain way just because somebody told us. I heard a story one time. This woman, she was making a roast or a ham, and so she cut off the top and the bottom of the ham, and then she put it in the pan. And her daughter, she was teaching her daughter how to cook, and she said, "Why do you cut the ham off, like cut the ends off like that?" And she's like, "I don't know. That's the way my mother did it." So she went to the grandmother and she said, "Why do you cut the ends off of the ham?" And she was like, "I don't know. That's what my mother did." So she went to the grandmother's too, which was really, really old. And she said, "Why did you cut the ends off?" And she said, "I cut it off because I didn't have a pan big enough." So we have these habits that are handed down to us from generations. Sometimes we don't even know why in the world we are doing the things we do, and there's no reason for it. There's really no, like, you could have found a bigger pan. Anybody could go find a bigger pan, but nobody thought to ask why she was doing the ham like she was doing. So we have to step back and think about things that we do every day. Are the things that we do, and is it bringing us closer to our goal every day, or is it backing us up, and is it keeping us from pursuing a goal or doing something that we really want to do? And why are we allowing this particular habit to continue on? Is it something that's good? Is it something that's bad? Like, a lot of things aren't bad. Like, it's not bad to sit and watch TV, but if that's all we're doing, like as soon as we walk in the door, if we're just sitting and watching TV and we're just vegging out all the time, that's not reaching the goal, and it's not helping us in any way. It's hurting your eyes. There's not always a benefit to that. So we have to really take a step back and think, where is some areas that we can change some habits and then pursue the goals and the dreams that we are working toward. So I got to think about that with the Ignite book, or when I was putting those videos out there. If we just throw stuff out there and just start thinking randomly about all this stuff, it's really hard for us to get into a new habit of doing this thing. We've got to start somewhere. We can't just all of a sudden just watch these videos and go, "Oh, okay, well, I'm just going to start doing this, or I'm going to start sharing this." We've got to have a goal, and we've got to have a plan to get us to meet that goal, and which means that we're going to have to change the habits to get there. So what are some things that we can do to begin to change the habits that can begin to reach our goals and get us moving closer to the goal that we have set out for us? So how do we find the goal, and how do we figure out the difference between a goal and a get? So one thing that I think about, a goal is something that is defined as something that grows you personally. It helps you to become a better person. It inspires a movement. It's changing lives. It's goals. Goals equals growth. Like, you're doing something that's going to cause you to grow better. It's going to cause the other person to grow better, and it's going to cause you to do something more. A get is something that you'll eventually get because you've done something that as you're working towards your goal. So like, a get equals personal gain. Like, it's just something you get because, like, you work hard enough, you're going to get a new car, or you're going to be able to remodel the kitchen if you have that money, or you're going to be able to pay off the mortgage if you work hard enough. But even to do those things, you still have to create a habit, and you still have to have a goal, and you still have to create a change. So, but the goal is something much bigger. A goal is something that involves a lot more people. A goal is something that's going to create and inspire more people. A goal is a launch of a community movement. It inspires wellness. It shows people how to achieve freedom. It empowers others. That is a goal. A goal is helping someone to do something, and it's not just about you anymore. It's not just about you and your little world and in your little family and your little stuff. So I want you to think about a couple of questions. Now, you may not be thinking in terms of Royal Crown Diamond, or you may not be thinking in terms of, you may be thinking smaller, like, I just would really like to get to executive or silver. I'd like my oils to be paid for and to get those things for free. And those are really great things, but that is only helping you personally. If you only get to executive or silver, that's only helping you personally, and that's a get. And which is fine, and gets are great. But we want to help more people. We want to really and truly, and for a long time, this really was something that was really hard for me to understand, because yes, I want to help people, and yes, I want people to become more inspired and to have better health and to feel better. But how is my goal going to really achieve that? How am I, this one little person, supposed to make my goal go out there for lots of people and inspiring more people to do a lot more things? So one of the things that I think about is, as we are, as I've really started studying this more and really started thinking about, what do I really, really want? Like, at the core of myself, what is it that I really, truly want? And what I really, truly want in the very end is something that's going to help hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. It's not something that's just going to be a part of my family. It's not something that's going to be just me. It's going to be something that is going to create more jobs. It's going to be something that's going to create a lot more freedom for a lot more people. It's going to be something that is going to help more people find wellness and find abundance and find inspiration and find their passion. So many things, so many things. So I want you to really think about just a few things. Number one, what are your current goals? What are some things that you really are looking to do? And in those goals, like, is it something that's just going to help your family, or is it something that's going to help many, many people? Is this something that's just for you? Is it a get or a goal? What is your why? Why do you want to achieve this goal? What is the goal that you want, and why do you want it so bad? Now, I want you to think about something as you are going through this process. I want you to think about, if you were to walk up to somebody and you're talking to a friend and they're asking you, like, what kind of goals do you have, or whatever. So what's going to sound better when you talk to your friend? Is it going to sound good to say, I want to thank you in advance for coming to my class tonight, or hey, how are you doing? And somebody says, oh, what kind of goals do you have, or whatever. I mean, I know you shouldn't have a weird conversation like that, but if somebody asks you about your goals, I love sharing about Young Living and the incredible health and wellness you can discover with the most pristine products in the world. By being here, you're helping me to buy a new house, to get a new car. How amazing is that? You're helping me support my family. Now, does that sound like something that they're going to want to come to your class to do? Or when you tell them your goal and they go, oh yeah, I want to buy Young Living. Yeah, okay. That's awesome, because I'm going to be helping you with your house, or your monthly payments, whatever. That's not helping anybody at all. That is not inspiring anybody to do anything. But what if you said, I want to thank you in advance for coming tonight. I love sharing about Young Living and the incredible health and wellness you can discover with the most pristine products in the world. By you being here tonight, you are helping me to inspire more people to live a life of wellness, to help moms to support their health of their children. You're helping me to help other people to become a part of a community that they may not feel like they're a part of anything, but they can become part of a community, and to help one another, and to have better mental capacities to do the things that they need to do, and to feel good about the things that they do. Which thing sounds better? So when you're thinking about a goal and a get, the first one is a get. I just want to get these things because this is going to help my family. Or a goal is something that's going to inspire so many more people, and it's going to bring more people to lock arms with you and to share in this journey with you, because they're going to be inspired to want to help bring more people to Young Living, and inspired to help more people find the health that they need. So that is what you're looking for, is the goal. So as you're going through and you're writing down your list of your goals, really think about that. If you were to tell somebody, you're going to help me to achieve this new house, is that going to inspire them to want to buy more, or inspire them to be part of your community and to lock arms with you and to join you into doing something really amazing for lots of people? So that is the first thing I want you to do. That's the first thing I want you to think about and get that written out as your goals and your gets, and where is all of that. Now, once you have your goal in mind, once you have set a date for when you want this goal, like I want this particular goal and I want it at this time. Now, a lot of times, I was reading something the other day, and it was saying that a lot of times we choose a date way far out in the future, thinking that we need lots of time to allow time for our goal to happen. So we think, oh, we need all this time. But a lot of times we give ourselves too much time because we're thinking we need this time. But have you ever noticed, like, I'm a procrastinator. I wait until the last minute to do some things, and so I'm like, oh, I got to get them done right now. So if you're that type of person, then you really need to narrow down your time span a little bit. So you want to make sure that you almost narrow down. I'm not saying like give yourself 2 weeks to make to Royal Crown Diamond. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that sometimes we really extend it out because we're thinking, oh, well, that'll give me plenty of time. But then we kind of piddle and we really don't do a whole lot here. And then we may, do a little bit more when it gets a little bit closer, but then we've totally missed the mark altogether because then we haven't done anything, and especially not done enough to reach that goal. So narrow it out, narrow it in just a little bit, that you're going to have to do some quick work and get some things done quickly in order to reach that goal. Don't kill yourself, but I'm saying, give yourself a little more, little narrowed down time, just a touch, just so that you are able to say, okay, I know I need to have this goal done, and I'm going to work at this now. So this is what I'm going to do. Now, a lot of times it's hard to not get discouraged because we, in the moment of the creating the goal and setting the goal, then we're not always seeing a lot of stuff happening in this little window. There's going to be a time there that you may not really see a whole lot happening in that time span. So you have to really think about, okay, I'm not going to get discouraged. This is where your mental capacities are really going to have to be strong, because it really is easy to get distracted. So we're going to have to really stay strong in that little time, because you're not going to always see a lot of growth, because a lot of times you're building this foundation and then the growth just like all of a sudden there it is. So be patient in the middle moments, okay? Keep working, keep trying, keep doing the things, and then know that's going to pay off in the end. But then after we've figured out your goal, after you have set the date, then I want you to think of 2 habits. We're not going to do any more than 2 habits at a time, because a lot of times we try to do too many things and then we get ourselves confused. And this is where I have landed over the last few months, and I've got so much, like my brain hurts. There's so much stuff in there that wants to be poured out, and I haven't even really known where to start. Like, I've just kind of been like, okay, I need to share this stuff that I know now, things that are new, things that need to come out. Oh my goodness, they are not happy in there. Hold on. Wow. Okay. So, crisis diverted. Sorta. So, sorry. So we want to make sure that once we've set those goals, we want to create good habits going into the goals. So we want to make sure that we know exactly what we're doing every single day. So one of the things that Bob says about, he said that he trained some insurance company one time, and he said their numbers were off really, really bad, and their sales were horrible. And he said that he told them just to change two habits, and one of those was to be up before 9 o'clock and have at least talked to one person before 9 o'clock. And every single person they talked to every single day at some point offer each person $100,000 in or in the insurance, whether it's life insurance or house insurance or whatever, $100,000, nothing less. So in the end, the numbers skyrocketed, and the company had made millions of more dollars because of his training that he had given them. So my point is not to go. I'm not going to ask everybody buy $100,000 worth of oil today. But the point is to think of two things, like a new habit that you can do. Like every morning, you're going to, before 9 o'clock, you're going to have sent out a couple of messages to people, and you're going to have offered them the premium starter kit. One of the premium starter kits. It could be, thieves, or like if you know what kind of area they're struggling in, help them in one of those areas. The thieves, the NICSHA, CBD, the everyday oil kit, whichever one fits their need best, help them in that area. Not every single person is going to buy. Not every single person is going to say yes. Eventually they may say yes. You have to keep on. It takes 7 to 15 times talking to one individual person to get that person to say hello. Oh my goodness, to say yes. So you want to make sure that you are come back to them, not every single day, but come back to them every couple of days. Go back and say, hey, did you have a chance to watch this video? What did you think about this video? What was something good that you took from this? What was something, because on the oilabilityteam.com, Sarah Harness has all of, like, every one of the premium starter kits has a video, or not a video, but a podcast, and you can click on that and you can share the podcast, and it's a full class. Just send it to your person. Say, hey, I was just thinking this might be something you might be interested in. I saw that you were having a hard time, your kids were having a hard time with a runny nose, or you've been sick, or your so-and-so's been sick, or this thing happened, or your house is disgusting, or, you've got roaches. Oh, okay, well, here, Thieves is great. This will clean your house and get all those germs and nastiness out of your house, whatever it may be. Send them the link to the audio, and then follow up with them in a couple of days and say, what do you think about the video? What was something good you brought from it? And if you're interested, here's my link. Just keep going back to them. But every day, getting in front of somebody every single day will allow that build, because eventually somebody's going to say yes, and eventually somebody's going to buy, and eventually something is going to come of that. And then you help them to learn to do the same thing if they're interested in doing the business. So create 2 new habits today. That may not be your habits. That may not be something that you're needing to do. But create whatever new habit it is, because all of us have habits. Sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're good. But we have to think about the habits that we have every day and really be aware of every moment of every day and what we're doing. That's one of the things that I'm really working on, is to really be aware of the time that I'm spending doing different activities, whatever it may be, whether it's to spend a specific amount of time with the kids because I'm really bad to get to working or doing something else and not spend time doing something I need to with them, or spending too much time with them and then not getting work done. So you have to have that balance. Has to be balance everywhere in all the areas, and that's something that's really hard to do. So we have to create that time, because when an empty space happens, then a habit's going to come in. One thing, let's see. When a space is created, it will be filled automatically or by design, dependent upon the person's conscious decision. So we have to make a conscious decision of what we're going to fill that space with, because when we get rid of one habit, something else is going to come in. It could be a good habit, it could be a bad habit. Now, if you're getting rid of a bad habit, you're probably going to fill that spot with another bad habit because you've not been intentional about where that time is going to go. So you have to make sure that if you're going to take this thing away, what am I going to put in that place? So, like, say for example, a couple of years ago, I stopped doing, I used to be over clubs at school. And so I gave that up so that I could focus more on some other things. Well, that time that would have been allotted to my, to my club is now just open space, So I think in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, that would give me a chance to work on something else. But did I intentionally go and set that time and say, okay, this was the time that I normally would be at clubs, so instead, this is when I'm going to work. I'm going to fill this space with this thing because it automatically is going to get filled up with something. We always fill that space with something. The empty space is going to get filled, just like with water. I mean, water, of course, just spreads everywhere. So you have to think about the time that you're putting into something and what you're doing in that time. So really think about that this week. Really think about all of the time that you have to work on things, the effort that you put into stuff. Really focus on those things this week. So starting probably Monday, we're going to begin the regular game plan book. So if you do not have this book, go ahead and be getting it ordered. This is the game plan book and the workbook. They're so very good, and Sarah Harnish is just really amazing, and she's such a good leader, and she really has a heart for people, and she came from just practically nothing and then built her business from that nothing, and so it's just a really inspiring story to hear her talk about her story. So, and my goal is through helping you to, let's narrow down your goals, narrow down your time span, and really get focused on your time and be intentional about your time. Using the game plan, if you will take the goal, take this one little thing today and then incorporate the game plan into that, you will be amazed at what you can do. You will be amazed at watching your team grow and watch your business grow. It will be so huge if we can just implement the things that we are learning. So last thing I want to share with you is this quote from Alex Noble. Success is not a place at which one arrives, but rather the spirit with which one undertakes and continues the journey. So what kind of attitude are we having in our days every day? Are we being negative? Are we being sad? Or are we being whiny? Are we being complaining? Or are we just, I'm not even going to try anymore because nobody wants to listen to me at all? If that's our attitude, we're not going to grow. We are not going to get better, and we're not going to do more. So we have to have a good attitude, and we have to constantly be in the place of this is good. Everything is just what it is. It is good, and it's getting better, and it's going to be fine. And I'm going to move forward from here. And even if I've missed my goal today, I'm moving on for tomorrow. So I hope y'all have an amazing night and an amazing week, and I will talk to you soon.